All right, you guys, let's talk about this brand new Charger reveal that we just got from Dodge here. Did we learn anything new? I want to give you guys my reactions here. Now, first up, I want to say that Tim probably needs some acting lessons. That was a little bit rough. They spent a ton of money on that whole video system. I get what they were trying to do, but yeah, it definitely came across a little bit forced. So that's just an initial thought I had. Now, secondly, one of the things that he mentioned was he was constantly using this us against them narrative. We're doing things they don't want us to do. The infamous they. And you've got to get behind what we're doing because they don't like it. And it's like, who are you talking about? Who is they? There is no they. You are the they. You are the ones who are causing this to go electric, and therefore are the ones, you are they. There is just, it's a classic way of trying to manipulate people's emotions, and that actually really irritates me because when it's clear that they're trying to manipulate you, that bothers me on a personal level. There is no they, you are the they. He would say stuff like, regardless of what propels us. No, not regardless of what propels us. What propels us is the Hemi and everything that it stood for and what you're absolutely walking away from. So don't say absolutely stupid stuff like that. That really actually bothers me. Okay, anything interesting that we learned about the actual Charger itself? Well, the EV model is going to come in a couple of different trim levels. We did know that as well. There's going to be the lower 400 some odd horse one. There's a 670 horse version, and then the Banshee is going to come out later. That'll probably be like 800 and some odd something or other. I still don't think much people care. Overall styling of the Charger itself, I think it's interesting. A lot of times things don't come across the same when you're looking at pictures as they do in person. So I'm waiting to reserve judgment on that until I actually see the car in person. Right now, I don't particularly love it. I think the previous generation looked better, more refined, but it's one of those deals where as time goes on, I think this design might get refined a little bit more, could be a little bit more interesting. Now, the biggest news to me about this whole reveal was that the car is going to be available in both a 2-door and a 4-door hatch version. I kind of didn't see that coming. That was kind of a cool thing that they had. I think it was something that was necessary to get as many sales as possible because the previous Charger being the 4-door option, it really made the most sense because you're going to have people with families who are trying to buy this thing. So you got to have a 4-door option out there to get enough sales. So that made a lot of sense to me. Now, another reveal that they had that wasn't particularly a reveal in my mind was that they are going to have the Hurricane option. They're going to offer it with both the standard output and the high output. The high output version is going to have 550 horsepower. The standard output's 420 horsepower. Now, I have spoken many times on my channel about this before. I actually really like the Hurricane engine. I think it's going to be a good option. And that's the one that I would go with if I were to purchase one of these cars. Now, I would absolutely get the high output model. There are significant differences between the standard output and the high output engines, and I really don't think it's worth it to actually get the standard output one because the high output engine is so much better internally and all the stuff that it has as part of it. So that's my opinion. I would really rather go with the high output version for the Hurricane. Another neat thing they mentioned, all-wheel drive is going to be standard on these vehicles. That's a really cool thing. They did mention that all-wheel drive is selectable, so you can still turn it off and do some wicked burnouts if you want to. So that was another neat thing. All right, so those are my initial impressions of this reveal video. Like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed here that they didn't sneak something in here, that they may have an option for a special limited edition Hellcat version, still with a few leftover Hellcat engines or something like that, but we kind of knew that this is the way it was going. They were trying to cut the cord clean and go away from the Hemi engine. Really unfortunate. Like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I felt like when Ford decided to keep their Mustang and keep a V8 in it, I thought that was a rallying cry that should have said, hey, we're going to stand behind what we do and what we stand for. And instead we got a lot of talk like, nope, this is the future and it's they who don't want us to have this powerful electric muscle car and they, this, that, and the other. It was a good attempt at marketing, and I think it might sucker in a few people here and there, but the honest truth is that Dodge loyalists, we all know exactly what you're trying to say, and we're not going to be fooled by that. So That being said, I hope the Charger still does well sales-wise. I hope the Hurricane does well overall. We'll see what happens with this electric stuff in the future. All right, you guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.